to me, it's a very smartly written script where you have this demon who methodically picks his victims. And it's a movie where it's very well put together from a technical side on how they show this person slowly losing it, man. This is a slow paced film. And you know, we talk about slow paces in movies, but this is one where that pace, it needs to happen. Double Toasted live in Las Vegas is coming up very soon and tickets are selling fast. So get your tickets now by going to x1entertainment.com/double-toasted and join us for a night of comedy, music, games, and our after party. And we'll see you there soon. Another demonic STD out there.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
They're spreading.
Yeah, boy. that demon.
Y'all are not using protection.
Yeah. Yeah, they had... Yeah, people, you know those demonic STDs that you catch by, you know, watching a certain videotape or having sex with the wrong dude? In this case, this strain is so bad, all you got to do is just smile at somebody. And you got it.
That's your ass.
That's your ass right there. Go see the doctor or a good priest. But we're talking about smile. Hence the plot right here where, you know, if you catch somebody smiling at you a little bit too crazy, a little bit too weird, as in the words of my man Billy over here, that might be your ass. But I will say this, I'm actually surprised that it took them this long to make a horror movie about smiles. Smiles are creepy, man. You know? Yeah. You catch somebody smiling like that, I don't give a joke how funny that joke is. That's weird. You know, why do crazy people scare us? Because they were there smiling about nothing.
Right.
Yeah, you know, you see someone smiling by themselves across the room. I don't care how well dressed they are. I don't care how handsome they are. I don't care how cool they are. If they sit there by themselves smiling and ain't nobody else around, ain't nobody looking at them, you say to yourself, that is crazy. You know, you don't say, oh, that's nice. He's thinking of something kind of cool, something funny. Oh, he has a nice memory. No, that's crazy.
Who did you just murder?
Yeah. Oh, who is he planning on murdering?
Yeah. Right.
Oh, that's for you to find out.
I know something you don't know.
You know, here, I'll give you a little preview of this movie right here. Yeah, I might have saved y'all some time and money going to see this movie. Yeah. If that smile of mine creeped you out, then you might want to second guess about this movie. Or will you?
Don't do that again, please. That was horrifying.
It only makes me want to do it more.
I've never seen that before.
You've never seen that?
No, over 20 years, I've never seen you do that.
You never seen him do it?
I've never seen that.
Yeah, people. So smiles, as you can see, can be very, very creepy, very scary. Look at my own. But is this movie just as scary as a smile I just gave you? Well, let's go ahead and take a look at at this trailer for Smile, which is a movie about, well, the way it's passed on. If somebody comes to you and they already have a weird smile, turn your head before they do some bodily harm to themselves.
Tagline is, once you see it, it's too late.
Once you see it, it's too late. If you don't turn, let me just say this. If you see them with a weapon in their hand, don't be scared for yourself. Well, yeah, be scared for yourself. But if they start to do something to themselves, that's your ass.
Oh, wow. Okay.
I'm actually kind of sorry I showed you that trailer because I hadn't seen the trailer before, and some of the best stuff in the movie, they put it here in the trailer.
I was just thinking, I was like, well, this makes me angry because I know you got to sell the movie, but so much of the stuff that works, that gives you such a great surprise, they've already showed it to you.
That sucks, y'all, that they did that. I had not seen the trailer, so I mean.
I went in cold.
I did too, and I got to tell you, I wouldn't have, if I had known, I wouldn't have showed you that trailer. That's how strongly I feel about what I feel like they're spoiling here for you. Because if you go in there cold and you don't know what's happening, that's the time it's most effective. So listen, forget what you just saw.
I know.
Is that Kevin Bacon's daughter?
Yeah, Sosie Bacon.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, her and Keira Sedgwick is a mother. Yeah. Yeah, y'all. As I said, this is another demon STD. This is horror herpes right here. This is where I told you have. Then this is Kevin Bacon's daughter, Sosie Bacon. Yeah, she's the one who's the latest in a line of potential victims of people who experience suicides And after you, look, if you get out before that suicide happens, you might be all right. But if that person drops to the ground, that means that this thing is coming after you next. And chances are, it's not going to stop until you get in front of somebody and kill yourself. And not just, in a nice way with sleeping pills or something. No, this demon is going to make sure, a curse or whatever it is, going to make sure you kill yourself in the most horrible and painful way.
It's also going to torture you up until that point.
Oh, it's going to mentally torture you.
With delusions, the worst possible delusions.
This thing is a complete asshole, man.
Yeah.
Whatever this is. I mean, and that's one of the things that works here. Now, I'm going to tell you, the marketing for this is crazy because they showed all that shit in the trailer. And I want to let you know, first of all, I'm not going to tell you how good it is, but is this worth seeing? I think so. And the reason why I'm saying that ahead of time is because I don't want you to let any of this crazy ass marketing that they're putting out there ruin the experience for you, because they almost making a goof out of this thing.
Right. With the whole people putting up posters or flyers and holding up smiles and all that.
Even crazier than that. People showing up at baseball games.
Yeah.
And just standing there. They find the people, like they would have, if they knew I had that smile, they would have hired me. Mm-hmm. But they hired people with the craziest looking faces and the craziest smiles to just go places and just stand there and smile looking creepy.
That's of 11 games, including this one.
She was like an idiot.
Yeah. And that, you know what's funny? That dude's probably her date. That's probably a Tinder date. He's like, Jesus, I didn't know we were going to do this.
Yeah, she's like, I got tickets to the game. It's just part of my job, though. Do you mind going with me?
Yeah, free tickets. You want to go?
Yeah. Sounds like a great date.
Oh, it sounds like a cool job, too. Let's go. You're like,
Look at his face. He was like,
Tonight, Reese Hoskins.
Yeah, I don't know.
And it's funny, too, because she kept going. They must have paid her ass well because she went above and beyond because she, they told her to sit there and smile and just look crazy. She stood up so the cameras would see her.
1-2.
Notice they had to do cuts to show you just how much time is going.
Yeah, but
also in between the picture, cussing her ass out.
Yeah.
But did she go the extra mile and slit her own throat?
Yeah. Well, you know what? She was going to until security told her to sit her ass down. You sit your ass down. Yeah. Boy, and that smile went away quick. She's like,
Okay.
You know what?
Way over there.
Yeah. That security guard probably saved her life. But yeah, people, when I say that this is horror herpes, it sounds like I'm, making a joke, but no, they have been horror herpes, demonic STD movies out there where a curse gets passed on to somebody else because this person, touched somebody else one way or another. We saw it with The Ring. If you get a videotape, 7 days before that bitch walks out that TV and puts you in a closet looking like you just rotted, just like you got dried up, leaving a closet all ashy and shit. Also, what this movie really reminded me of more than The Ring is,
It Follows. Yeah.
You're not going to believe me. And I need you to remember what I'm saying. And I passed it to you.
And that really was a demonic STD. You have to have sex with somebody else to pass it on. And and if you don't, when you give to that person, they only got a few days, somebody else, and life in the process.
So everybody just gotta get some ass.
Yeah. That better be the best ass you got.
That's your boy you used to work with. Now you have to.
Hey, I'm just trying to take the curse off.
Yeah. And I'd give it to him too. I was like, hey, shit, I'd kill myself if I had that. Get bent over, man.
No, wait.
Yeah, no, we doing this shit. We're friends. But yeah, man, with this, once you get infected, you can you only have a certain amount of time to take care of it yourself. And if you catch it early enough, it's manageable. But if you don't, then chances are you're going to die horribly. And this movie, it does the same thing. It does follow that formula. When somebody smiles at you, you have to figure out a way to solve this, and I'm not going to say how they do it or how they try to do it, but it is passed on to you, and it's only a matter of time before you figure out that I got to give this to somebody else some kind of way if I don't want to die myself. We get to see that person where their life is fine. They're minding their own business. Everything is cool. And then all of a sudden, this asshole enters their life one way or another and gives it to them. And then you just see this person slowly, not physically, but just mentally deteriorate after that. don't get your ass behind that door.
I know.
Sit down.
You know I got a chair.
I just want to have a chat.
I'm seeing something. It's smiling at me.
And let me tell you why this works. Because you see all this and looks over dramatic and everything, and you're expecting probably for her to turn around and somebody, some damn demon back there smiling at her. But no, that's not how this movie goes. And how you like this movie might depend on your expectations of it. Because if you're going expecting, a more typical horror movie, that's not what you're getting. As I said, it's more like these other films where there is not an entity or a slasher chasing somebody. There's not a physical manifestation chasing somebody. For all we know, these people might just be this might be mental with them in this movie. We don't know. That's how bad it is. But this works because, when you have this person who doesn't know if they're going crazy, who's seeing something that nobody else can see, that becomes more of a personal kind of horror. And for me, if you have a situation where people can't see what you're seeing, they start not to believe you, you do reach this point where if you were going through that, you start thinking, am I crazy?
Yeah, maybe
am I losing my mind? And to me, that's scarier because that seems more tangible to me,
Sure. It seems like something that could actually happen to you. That's one of my favorite things about this movie is that it is... Take whatever supernatural is there, because there is kind of a question to it. But this is such an analog for mental illness. Yeah. Just the way, just what, our main character has to go through, but also seeing how she's treated by the people around her, the people in her life. And somebody who is suffering from, say, schizophrenia or paranoia, where it's starting to come on slowly. This is so much what it's like that it's terrifying, and you can't help but feel sympathy for her.
Man, this poor girl, and I get it. This is the bad thing about this movie. I mean, not a bad thing. This is a bad thing about this girl's situation, because listen, we're spending time with her. We know what she's seeing. We know what she's going through. But don't nobody else know. So nobody else knows how to handle this. And that's the thing about this movie. It kind of challenges you on how would you react to this? Because you sit up and you think like, oh, why are people treating that poor girl like that? They should give this girl some help. But if you, let me just be honest with you. You be honest with me. If somebody, when you try to get them help, they cuss your ass out immediately for that. And then on top of that, you start saying, okay, now Martin, what would you do if I came in here? Martin, you were like, okay, Corey, what's wrong, man? What's going on? You tell me. You can talk to me. Well, Martin, you see, man, there's this ghost that keeps following me, and it's a curse, Martin. And I'm telling you, man, I'm seeing things that are there. You don't see it, Martin. Martin, look behind you. If you look behind you, you didn't see nothing, you turn around, you be like, okay, you stay the my family, man. I'll call and get you some help. Boy, I wish I had a better help ad right now. I'll call you and get you some help. But you be thinking, this man is dangerous. He's crazy. He won't take any of my help. I don't know what to do for him. I'll be putting you in a very, very bad position.
You would. I do believe that I would be more sympathetic than the people are in this movie. But I think that's one of the good things about it. It is showing how a lot of people, some people in your life care, and other people don't have no patience for that. They're like, look, if you're going to be crazy, you do it over there.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, if you start swinging arms, then I'll be like, all right, I don't know what I can do for him.
You know what? No, it does show people who are like that. It shows a wide array.
A wide range, yeah.
Because there are people who don't know. Like, people got families and they got kids, and they're just kind of like, I can't have you coming around, especially after the shit you just pulled in front of kids. The other thing, somebody's like, all right, I'm trying to help you, but I just don't know how.
Right.
And how, plus you fight me on this. And it's not just mental illness. It's all about how people internalize trauma too. Yeah. This whole thing with this demon is just like, I feed off of miserable people. I feed off people going through some shit.
Well, you also have another layer in that the people who seem very harsh and unsympathetic, how much are they actually doing that, and how much is that part of her delusion?
Exactly. Because listen, you don't know what she's seeing half the time. And man, but really, no matter how people are reacting to her, and that is, we're talking about Sosie Bacon, who does play a doctor named Rose, who she suffered a trauma in her life. And this is and see, this is the shitty thing about this demon right here. He knows what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
He's picking people that he know people ain't gonna believe.
Exactly.
He said, yeah, this bitch got a history of mental illness. Yeah, I'm gonna get you.
You perfect.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play with you all week long.
You know what? I wish you would tell somebody. Go on.
Yeah, go tell them.
Go on. I'll wait right here. You know, I'll sit back here smiling while you do it. Go ahead, tell him.
I'm not even gonna hide.
Yeah. I'm
Did
right
they
here.
not believe you? Who could have saw
Yeah.
that coming?
You don't see him? Toodles. P.S. They don't see shit. I shut your ass up. To me, it's a very smartly written script where you have this demon who methodically picks his victims. And it's a movie where it's very well put together from a technical side on how they show this person slowly losing it, man. This is a slow-paced film. And you know, we talk about slow paces in movies, but this is one where that pace, it needs to happen because we see this person slowly unraveling. And if it was too quick, we probably would criticize it saying, oh, now you ain't that crazy.
Right.
Man, you know, wow, that happened quick.
Yeah.
You know, no, this
or
movie.
it'd be like, man, everybody just turned on her like that. But the way it goes slow like this, it pulls you along.
Yeah.
And it makes it a much more mature of a film than the marketing would lead you to believe.
Yeah, no, don't go in here and expect like some quick scares and, you know, cheap scares, and don't expect like a monster be jumping out every 5 minutes. You know, there's nothing like that, or fast paced where she's running and figuring out clues and, you know, these quick ways. Mm-hmm. You know, in a day she's got it all figured out. She doesn't know what to do.
Right. And you wouldn't know what to do. And
being that nobody wants to listen to her, and you can kind of understand probably why, because people, what are you going to do when you hear about it as a demon chasing you or a curse? Mm-hmm. You know, you see her just, it's more than the creature itself, or the supernatural, or the curse, or whatever. What the real torture here is, what the real horror, what the real pain is that she's alone.
Yeah.
And people just won't listen to her. Mm-hmm. And that is driving her crazy more than anything else. She said, if one person would just listen, we might be able to solve this. But no one's doing that. Oh, and can I just say one thing too, boy? Like, I thought it was funny the way people started laughing in the movie. Because Harold and Kumar came up in here.
Oh,
And when they saw him, people just started giggling.
Oh, yeah.
Because they thought he was going, what's his name?
God damn it. Cal Penn.
Cal Penn. Yeah, everybody thought he was going to come in with the ha-has and the yucks.
Right.
No, he actually does a good turn. Mm-hmm. Very good turn in a more serious role.
Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you with the pacing of this. I'm sorry, you about to say something. What was it?
Oh, just no, it's a movie that's slow but not boring, but it's also shot like a 70s horror film. And they do a lot do a lot of scenes where they're upside down. They flip it upside down.
Oh yeah. No,
and that really adds to that feeling of her helplessness and her free fall into insanity.
Yeah. No, they do. Every element from a technical standpoint is meant to add to her unraveling, is meant to add to her mental breakdown. Not only is it like a 70s movie, but a lot of this is like Japanese horror for a couple of reasons. There's a lot of moodiness that feels like a Japanese horror movie, a lot of lighting that feels like that, but also the score. The score is just a bunch of noises. It sounds like somebody with a gas tank just banging in a hallway or something. If anybody's played any horror games, or I've seen something like Akira or anything like that, it's a very Japanese-like score. Now, I don't know who did the score, but it sounds like a bunch of noise, really. A bunch of clanks and booms. And again, that's to add to her feeling of being disoriented. The sound editing, the sound engineering in this is incredible.
Boy, wasn't it? That's a character all in itself. It's almost the main character, because we talk about the slow pace, but when something happens, it's big. And the sound is big, and you jump out of your seat.
Yeah,
and it's not cheap jump scares, but the shit, it seems like it's quiet, and it gets extreme.
Yes,
over and over.
It gets very loud, and somebody asked, is it like Silent Hill? And I was going to say that because the end of this movie is almost Silent Hill in a way. It's very much like Silent Hill. So you got the music, you got the settings, You got elements that feel very much like Silent Hill. Before it feels like a 70s movie or a Japanese horror movie like not Ring, but the
Grudge?
The Grudge feels something like that. And then near the end, this flat out, straight out Silent Hill. And again, that score adds very much to it. Anybody's ever heard the Silent Hill score and played the game, you know how it sounds. It sounds very mechanical. It sounds like a lot of people digging in a junkyard or something. And it lends that to very well to near the end of the movie. But we're talking about the jump scares in this. Like, I don't like jump scares. And at first I was thinking, oh, here we go. But all the jump scares in this movie, they lead to something. Mm-hmm. They do something. Every jump scare is actually either a transition to another scene that's very cool, or it's a jump scare that adds to her going insane. Mm-hmm. Listen, she's edgy. Like, this ain't somebody come up behind her like, Rose, and they're like, hey, it's just me. Hey,
they're not fake outs.
They're not cheap. If you were edgy and you were jumpy, when that phone rings, you're gonna get, you're gonna shit on yourself.
Sure.
If you think somebody's around you all the time and somebody leaves you at home by yourself, any sound's gonna have you jumping and looking crazy. So it leads to her mental state. The movie is very well engineered. So all the cinematography, all the sound engineering, all the editing, brilliant. I mean, I'm just put all the horror aside. I mean, if you're somebody just watches movies and you appreciate what they do with the filmmaking aspect, I'm highly impressed with how they just structured everything to add to her mental breakdown. Speaking of smiles, Jesse T. Usher, boy.
Yeah.
Jesse T. Usher plays. He plays he plays Beyonce. It's good to see him moving at a normal pace and not being a complete dick. Right?
So he plays her Beyonce.
People like, damn, was he the smile in the movie?
Yeah, got that white background behind him. You can't do it like that.
Floating head,
a floating black head in the movie. Hey, girl. Hey, you hear me?
Stop about the crazy.
He's good in the movie. He's not given a whole lot to do, but for a guy that we've seen in some movies where it's like, oh wow, this movie's not that great, or he's great in this, but he's just not a person I like very much. I liked him in this because he does have the subtle position and the subtle role of being a guy that just does not know how to handle his fiance, somebody that he loves. He does. I get the feeling, and other people, and here's what I think is cool, because people interpret this in different ways. Some people might be like, this guy is very selfish. And he's just looking after himself. Some other people be like, he's not prepared for this. It's happened out of nowhere. He's still processing. He's trying to help. So, I kind of saw a little bit of all that in there, which is why I think it's not a big showy performance. But I thought, man, he has to do a lot, but he has to do it very subdued. Mm-hmm. We're talking about how dark it is and how this girl's going crazy. You're probably thinking, oh man, it's depressing. Oh yeah, in a way, but man, there's also some like moments of humor in here that are really funny. Like, the movie knows how to actually have a sense of humor. The movie realizes it's smart enough to say, we just can't we can't oppress these people with these dark feelings in this mood right here. So there's actually some really funny bits of dialogue and character interaction that happens with people. And and they time it out. What I really thought was cool is that they spaced it out to where they knew when you needed a break.
Yeah.
It was and listen, everybody goes back to Hitchcock, but Hitchcock actually did this a lot. He's like, I know when people need a break. If you watch Hitchcock movies, a lot of them are funnier than you think. There's a lot of funny scenes in there that you wouldn't expect to be in there or you don't remember. Hitchcock knew that I have to pace these out in order to like give people a breather.
Sure.
I don't know if this person was influenced by these Hitchcock movies or not, but they definitely use the same kind of method. It seems like pace your laughs out to give people a little bit of a chuckle to breathe.
Yeah, sometimes you can watch something like this and it's such a downer.
Oh yeah.
And
you look at Psycho; it's got funny moments in it, like really funny moments.
Yeah. But this wasn't a downer. But it was just I was on the edge of my seat for most of it.
It's brutal. I mean, the way this girl is mentally being broken down. It's not even the violence. Now, there's some hardcore images in there, straight up, really. A lot of blood, just grotesque deaths and whatnot. But it's funny because as gory as those images are, the feeling of this movie has nothing on the way they're breaking this girl down in her mind. Complaints about the movie. I was hungry. And there was a moment I had this thing where my Dropbox broke down today, and so I had to stay on the phone with that. Stay on the computer and fix that. And I couldn't eat. And there's a moment here, she opened up some cat food. That shit look good.
Oh my God.
That cat food.
You know, it's funny. That scene stuck in my head because they put that camera right inside that can
They
of
sure
cat
do.
food.
And they made it look good for me. I hadn't eaten. I was like, man, I want them chicken noodles right there.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I want that Friskies right there.
Yeah, mix.
And then she got into one scene. She got into a car. She got an order to go. She had a big old
Oh my
hamburger.
God, she was chowing down.
She sure was.
You know what? She never looked
Terrible.
more insane than she did when she was eating that burger.
She tearing it up.
Yeah, tearing
She
it
sure
up.
was, man. You know how Popeye looks when he's eating spinach? That's what she looked like. Jaw full of food. And she was ravenous. I was like, damn, I guess she had
It looked like a shitty burger, but she was eating it like it was the greatest thing she had ever eaten in her
Yes.
Why was
life.
she eating it like that?
I guess because she forgot to eat.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought maybe it had something to do with the plot.
Not really. She was in her car.
Or,
Just tearing it up.
shit, that she wasn't acting. That hamburger was just that goddamn good. What happened when she was losing her mind looking for help? Nobody believed her. She's like, oh yeah, I forgot to eat.
Yeah. That's really what it was.
And she went into a diner. She went to a diner and got an order to go, man.
Couldn't eat that.
Boy, she looked like a person, you know how cops look at their cars when they eating this shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, she came with the bag and opened that shit up. She was like this. She came in and sat down.
You would have done like, God damn.
It stands out.
It must be. Y'all, you stop there like, hold on, man. This is a crazy day.
Yeah, big ass sesame seed bun. Yeah. It's like one of the big ass Denny's burgers.
Oh, yeah, with them big old weird buns they got. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
He said she ain't never look crazy, but she did eat that hamburger. He ain't lying. I felt sorry for her. I was like,
I did
damn.
too.
I was yelling at people at the screen talking about, don't go there. Watch out. Look behind you. I was like, let her eat. Shit.
Get her a napkin.
Yeah, get up there. Yeah. Wipe your mouth. That demon had second thoughts. He's like, man, maybe I should quit doing this shit.
Look at how I gotta do it. Look how I gotta do it.
Yeah. This is not cool.
Before you go, I was having fun, but damn.
Yeah. Yeah, some of this is uncomfortable humor too, boy. Man, look, let me tell you something. The anticipation in this movie is great because it's predictable in a fun way, in a good way, because they had one part where Martin and I knew what was going to happen. And it ain't cool. It's not cool at all. I mean, it's actually one of the most disturbing parts of the movie, but they did that, and I was going to hold my tongue, man. I wasn't going to say, because I was sitting up there, but Martin saw that shit, and we the only two just laughing our ass off. Martin leaned on me. And then when he did that, I said, I couldn't see. That's why I couldn't stop. Like,
I honestly didn't know what was coming. I knew it was going to be something. But the actors, especially the kid, just pulled it off so well. I mean, look, props to Sosa Bacon, and you talk about Jesse T. Usher, but I think everybody in this, all the actors are really good, and they like, especially some of them, that kid and that first woman who comes in, like the patients at the hospital. But man, that kid just sold that scene.
yeah, there's a scene with a birthday party, and I knew it was going to happen. And that
I just knew it was going to be something, but I was just like,
I knew.
like, no, they didn't. Oh my God.
That's why I was like, because I thought that's why you laughed. I was like, because I knew exactly what was going to happen. I was like, when he opened that box, like, oh yeah, here it comes. Yeah, she everybody's birthday party.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, she sure did.
Legs went up his
Legs up in the air like that.
Yeah, no matter how much sympathy you have for her, when the way that whole party goes down is like, yeah, you got to
I can't be here anymore. Yeah.
Oh.
I see what you mean. You keep saying that. She's like,
Yeah.
people are like, look, you can't come around my family.
If you saw what happened and what they like, you had look. I don't care what happens. The more she says, "I'm not crazy. This is a demon." What she did at that party makes you think that she did it even more. Yeah. If I had besides me joking about being hungry, if I had an actual complaint, it's not even a real complaint. It's more of a caution to people who don't like slow-paced movies. This is a movie that gets slower as it goes along in some parts, especially near the end. And if the pace is already bothering you, You don't like slow-paced movies, which I think is appropriate in this case. The slow pace, it works very well. But there's a part where there's a whole section near the end where it's just her alone. And I would say for some people, probably feel like nothing is happening at that moment. And I would say, you know, the jump scares, there's a lot. I probably wouldn't put that many in there, but I still think they used them well. You know, I would complain more if they weren't used well and weren't effective. But there are a lot of jump scares, more than I thought. But they're fine. Yeah, man. Everything I just said, you know, from a technical standpoint to the story and the way it just really, this director, and I forgot the director's name. You remember the director's name?
I tried to remember it as we were walking out.
You know what? Let me go. I got the trailer right here, which shows me nothing. But you know, I can find the director here. Parker Finn. Parker.
Yeah. Parker.
You thinking of that?
What is it, Jake?
You think of that State Farm commercial? Parker. Everyone gets good rates. Parker Finn. Got to look out for him, man. I can't wait to see what he does next. I think he's an awesome director. This is a guy that I can tell plans his stuff before he gets into it. And that shows a lot, and it serves the movie very well. I can't wait to see what he does next. Yes, to answer my question I had earlier, this does lend itself to all the great horror that we have coming out in 2022. Very thoughtful, you know, well written and well put together, and well acted horror. And this is another one, man. I give this a full price. I really enjoyed it.
My only complaint, and it doesn't bother me so much, but this movie, I feel like, even though it moves at this, you know, this slower pace, which I thought worked well, because I was like, oh, this is kind of refreshing to not have something that's always doing something, and but it's still full of surprises. And a movie that's so full of surprises has such a predictable ending. That bothered me. Like, you get to the end, like, can see it coming, and was hoping, like, I feel like I know what this is gonna do, and it's taken a while to get there, so I hope they do something different, and they don't, which was unfortunate, but it didn't leave me going like, man. I was like, hey, I was thoroughly into it, on the edge of my seat through this whole movie. And you're right, this year of 2022, these horror movies, I mean, I'm gonna have to rethink, because I'm always like, I'm not really a fan of horror movies, but this year, and so many of them have been horror movies that border on being thrillers, which give them so much more meat. There's something beneath all of this, and yeah, like you, it was a full price for me.
Yeah, and you know what, I kind of see what you're saying, because I was saying the end was, you know, I could see that being predictable. It definitely takes a more conventional turn than the rest of the film. I think the only reason why I like the ending probably more than you is because it was so freaky. And it's a personal thing with me, because it did remind me of Silent Hill so much. So yeah, that's probably why I enjoyed it. But definitely see what you're saying. But yeah, man, I would like to interview this director too.
Yeah, right.
If I could, because I would just like to talk to him about his process planning out this movie and how he got this done. Because I'm in admiration of the film, man. It's really good filmmaking. So yeah.
It at times it reminded me of Steven Soderbergh.
Yeah, and yes, Silent Hill the game, not the movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, somebody in chat.
It's important to me.
Yeah, it is very much.